No byes, all very tidy. Some big hitting from Revis and Thompson, but at no point did they really get away. Two big overs, 2 overs in the innings went for 21. Fisher into D'Oliveira, who's leaving this one because it's so wide he can't reach it. And the first 2 runs of the innings are extras at Rapids. Halfway through the first over, 2 without loss. Neither batsman yet to open their account. Good crowd in, lovely sunny evening here at New Road. Ground looks a picture. Cathedral bathed in evening sunshine. There are a few better sights in the cricket world. Fisher in again, bowls, and D'Oliveira is off the mark, this time driving into the covers, just a single, as the fielding is done by David Visa, moving to his left at mid-off. Some debate in the press box between innings as to whether this was a good score, a very good score, or a par score. Obviously it remains to be seen, as Fisher is in again and bowls, and this one's left alone by Bracewell outside the off stump through to the keeper. They always say wait till both sides are batted before you make your mind up about a pitch. You can't really have that argument in a T20, can you? But we felt there was a little bit in the pitch. It turned a little bit for the spinners, particularly the off spinner Bracewell. I thought got a little bit of sideways movement, but it's not a minefield. Here's Fisher again, and Bracewell is using his feet this time, looking to heave it away on the leg side. He'll get 2. They're very quick between the wickets, these two. Didn't time it, didn't really get it where he wanted, but a big gap out there on the leg side. He takes 2. End of the first over. A tidy one from Fisher. 5 coming from it, only 3 off the bat. Bracewell has 2, D'Oliveira has 1, and the Rapids needing a further 171 runs to win off 5 without loss.
The Vikings had trouble timing the ball early on, and that's been the case for Bracewell in that first over. Just tell you, in the Indian Premier League, it looks as though the Gujarat Titans will be playing the Chennai Super Kings in the final. The Titans made 233 for 3 today in their 20 overs, and the Mumbai Indians need 91 from 6.5 overs with 6 wickets remaining if they're to get home in that one, so looking very doubtful. So coming on to bowl is Shan Masood from the Diglis end. Is it Visa? It is indeed, in the distance. And first delivery is driven into the offside, and there's no run. Yeah, I was just peering from behind this column that's right in front of me. It is Visa wearing 96. It is. He probably got his hair tied back. He normally does. And a scruffy beard. Have a look at him now. He'd probably make a liar out of me and be clean shaven today. But the first next delivery is pulled off a bottom edge by D'Oliveira up to mid-on, and they come through for a single. 6 without loss.
Hair tied back.
That's what I like to see.
Hair tied back, bit of a beard.
That's it. Yeah, it's always a scruffy one. It's Bracewell on strike. Lyth is in at slip. Third man is not knowing whether to come up or go back. He's just outside the circle at the moment. Fine leg is up. Third man is staying up. Visa bowls, right arm, and Bracewell onto his toes. Punches to a short mid off, and there's no run. Good crowd here, but not really got into it, have they, today? It's not been noisy. No, they'll be looking for boundaries here, so if they've come in and been given their 4 and 6 signs, they can be waving those. Visa in, use of the feet by Bracewell again, not timed though, off a thick inside edge. We'll pick up a single to mid-on. Yeah, it's not looking easy. It's not coming onto the bat in this opening over and a half. D'Oliveira is on 2 from 3. 7 is the score. Chauhan is down on the boundary in front of our commentary point at third man. We've got Bess at backward point, right at the edge of the circle. 4 men saving 1 in the offside inside the circle, and it's dropped short and in the air, and D'Oliveira has gone. He underclubbed that one by some distance, and it was a comfortable catch out on the boundary. And again, I don't think the ball came on, and he went for the pull and just didn't get anything like he's looking at the bottom of the bat here, which would indicate that. And D'Oliveira's gone for 2, and the Rapids are 7 for 1.
Yeah, 7 for 1 in the second. Just seemed to get high up on the bat, didn't it? Just almost as though it was on him a little bit quicker than he thought, or maybe just, as you say, just stuck in the pitch, but he didn't time it one way or another. And the catch was comfortably taken by Revis out on the square leg boundary. One of the 2 men back in this power play, and Jack Haynes is out to join Michael Bracewell with 1 ball left in the second over. Bad start for the Rapids. Just into the pitch from Visa.
I think it's difficult to time the ball from early on, especially with a new ball, and getting to adjust. There's a wide though, that will help the cause. The first ball for Haynes is down the leg side. Haynes will be looking to get some runs. He scored 27 from 17 deliveries on Wednesday, but he had a bit of a lean time in recent weeks in the championship games after getting off to a good start to the season. He'll have a few nerves. He's got a leading edge here, and he's got away with it, tried to work it away on the leg side, and again emphasising the point, it's not easy out there, looking to work it away on the leg side. Got a leading edge, but it dropped short of mid-on. End of the over, and the Rapids are 8 for 1 after 2. Bracewell's on 3. Haynes looking for his first run.
Yeah, it's a tricky pitch to assess, because we saw Tattersall play with great freedom. We saw Thompson, although beaten a few times by the spin of Bracewell, really got stuck in as well, as did Revis. So you can play shots on it. As Fisher comes in and bowls, so Bracewell, who is out, caught behind, flashing at a wide one, edged through to keeper Tattersall, and a terrible start for Worcestershire now. 8 for 2 in the third over, both openers gone, and well, can't really blame the pitch for that one. I don't think it was wide and short, and Bracewell probably would have expected to find the boundary normally, but just got a little feather through to the keeper, and Worcestershire in a bit of trouble.
Yeah, I'd be disappointed with that shot. Will Bracewell. It's a horrible looking shot. It was wide. Probably in this competition with the field up, it's one that you do go after, but that's put the Rapids in a lot of trouble here now, and suddenly 176 looks a long way away.
Yep, 8 for 2 in the third. Bracewell gone for 3, D'Oliveira out for 2. Field changes being made now by Sean Masood, the Yorkshire captain. Still got a slip in there, but a man coming into short mid-wicket on the catch. David Milan, as Fisher bowls to Adam Hose, who's the new man, and Hose is driving and almost caught and bowled, I think. Did it carry? Just difficult to say. Can't see. Haven't got a replay yet. It was in the air, certainly driven back, hit firmly by Hose, no problem about that, but in the air and dropped short of the bowler, perhaps. Just need to have another look, I think. Almost further trouble for Worcestershire. Fisher again into Hose. Hose flashes at this one outside the off stump, makes no contact. through to the keeper. Looking tough going out there for the Worcestershire batsman at the moment. And Adam Hose not yet off the mark. Top scored on Tuesday, 61 off 40 deliveries. Also been in good form in red ball cricket. Waits now as Fisher comes in again and bowls, and this one's down the leg side, wide down the leg side. Brilliant diving stop take by Tattersall behind the stumps. Just watching the replay of that Bracewell dismissal, which is now frozen on me. Yeah, it was horrible, wasn't it? As you said, Chris, wide and threw the bat at it with very little foot movement, in fact. And be disappointed, I think, when he watches that one back. Fisher bowls, and Hose is off the mark with a magnificent shot. That's in the slot, outside off stump, and he just leaned into it. And it's a proper cricket shot, that, not a T20 slog by any means. High left elbow, leaned into it and lifted it over mid-off, and it bounced only just about a yard inside the rope at long off. Magnificent way to get off the mark for Adam Hose. A rare bright moment for Worcestershire since the start of this innings. Fisher in again, bowls to him, short this time, and he pulls at this one, but beaten possibly by lack of pace on that one, I think, as it was just into the pitch a little bit, and through it goes to Tattersall. So a mixed over, 13 for 2, one ball left in the third, 176 the target, long way to go. Yorkshire also off to a very bad start. They were 17 for 2 after 3, so there's not a lot in it, but a good start by the visitors with the ball. Fisher from the New Road end is in again to Hose, short, and Hose pulls that for 4. So there we are, end of the third over, 17 for 2, and what were Worcestershire? They were 7. What were Yorkshire? They were 17 for 2. So absolute neck and neck after 3 overs. Tough one to call, but nonetheless disappointing start for the Rapids.
Yeah, he picked up his wickets, and it was a fortuitous one because it was a horrible shot by Bracewell. It wasn't a good over by Fisher by any means, but you pick up the wickets as and when you bowl a good ball, and it'll be put away, so you'll take your wickets off not great deliveries. But Bracewell will be up there now thinking, I wish I'd have had those 2 balls to put away. But visitors continue, bowling to Jack Haynes, looking for his first run. Gets wrapped on the pad, thinks of a run, but Hose wants nothing to do with that, as it just dropped to the, as we look at it, the right of the stumps on the offside for Haynes. Tattersall very quickly onto it. That stop from Tattersall in the last over was outstanding. Such quick footwork to get across, and then full stretch. Certainly saved a boundary. Visa bowls to Haynes, who will pick up a run here, running it down to third man. Chauhan does the fielding. It's 18 for 2. Hose on 8 from 5. The batting still to come. Kashif Ali, Ben Cox, Ed Pollock, Usama Mir, Adam Finch, Pat Brown and Dylan Pennington. It seems strange to me. I know Bracewell is batting up the top of the order, but Ed Pollock, who struggles in red ball cricket because of the way he plays, but he opens in red ball cricket, and then in this competition he's batting down at 6. As Hose picks up a run here, just dropping the bat onto the ball, running it square of the wicket on the leg side. But a good little knock from Pollock on Tuesday, 23 from 11 balls with 2 4s, 2 6s. Perhaps that's the Visa role for him.
He tried. They tried him at Warwickshire, didn't they, at the top of the order in T20. He didn't have a huge amount of success. Tends to play the same way, doesn't he, wherever he bats?
Well, that's my point. The fact that he opens and plays that way in red ball cricket, he's almost set up to fail. As it's got hit on the lid here, I think, as Haynes, short delivery, trying to hook the ball. Now he should go through a protocol here. I think it caught him on the lid. Yeah. In fact, here comes the new helmet, and the physio. I was going to say sprinting on, but he's not, is he? He's just jogging on. So
they say they have to change the helmet.
I think they do.
Good job they didn't have to do that when I played. I had the same helmet for about, I think I had 2 in about 15 years. And they took a fair few whacks.
I think they have to be fully inspected again, don't they? It's like when if you're on your bike and you come off and they say never wear it again.
I always struggle to hit it if they bounce me when I'm on my bike, Chris.
I'll tell you what, I'd have been better. You used to have to fetch me from square leg back to way so far.
So there's a break in play here, gives us a chance to just recap on everything that's happened. If you're just joining us, Yorkshire won the toss and chose to bat. They were in trouble early on, lost 2 quick wickets, but eventually they made 175 for 9 in their 20 overs. And Worcestershire, needing 176 to win, have lost D'Oliveira for 2 and Bracewell for 3. They're currently 19 for 2 with 2 balls left in the 4th over. And elsewhere, I can tell you what's happening in the country in the T20 games. Leicestershire against the Birmingham Bears are 92 for 3 with 8.5 overs remaining in their innings. Northants 86 for 3 against Durham with 8.1 overs remaining, so low scores. Derbyshire 110 for 1 against Notts at Trent Bridge, just over halfway through the innings, so they're well placed to post a big score. Gloucestershire 79 for 4 off 11 overs against Glamorgan, and Surrey 82 for 4 off 11 against Kent. Middlesex, who were well beaten by Surrey last night at Lord's, 32 for 1 in the 4th over. And finally Sussex against Somerset. Sussex going along nicely, but they have lost 2 wickets. They're 30 for 2 after 3.1 overs. Still no cricket here, as Jack Haynes' helmet is being inspected and possibly repaired. 19 for 2 the Rapids, needing 176 to win. 2 men out. D'Oliveira pulling Visa to deep square leg, a missed hit pull really, and he went for 2, and then Michael Bracewell cutting at a wide one without moving his feet against Fisher and edging through to Johnny Tattersall behind the stumps. He went for 3. That was 8 for 2 in the 3rd. At the end of the 3rd, Worcestershire was 17 for 2, which is coincidentally exactly where Yorkshire were. But that was the point at which Tattersall started to crack on with things, and Yorkshire moved fairly quickly on to 44 for 2 by the end of the power play. Worcestershire got some way to go if they're going to get into that sort of position by the end of the power play. 2 balls left in the 4th over here, and they're 19 for 2.
Yeah, the one
repairs are done.
Yeah, I think he's got a new helmet. I think he was moving, getting the foam fitments moving from one helmet to the other.
Yeah.
The one thing they will have to be mindful of is those 2 overs of 21.
Yeah.
As
Visa
bowls.
Sorry, it's you, isn't it?
Just fences outside the off stump there. I don't know if he got anything onto that, but it dropped well short of Tattersall, who's standing a long way back for Visa.
Yes. Distinctly slower ball, that one, I think. He does mix it up, doesn't he?
He does.
Got a bit of pace when he wants to.
Yeah.
That one that hit the helmet was a sharp delivery.
Yep, he travels the world playing this form of cricket. Ball on leg stump that's turned square on the leg side by Haynes for a single, and that takes us to the end of the 4th over with the Rapids 20 for 2. Hose has 9. Haynes will keep the strike. He's on 3, and the target 176. And as I was saying just after that break of play, that he will have to be mindful that those 2 big overs really propelled the Vikings up to that score of 176. 2 overs of 21, 1 from D'Oliveira and 1 from Finch, and that could be the difference at the end of this game.
Yep. Matthew Revis coming into the attack at the New Road end. Worcestershire need to capitalise on this bowling change. I know that sounds a bit of an odd thing to say, but Fisher bowled well, Visa's bowled well, the mood has been set, and they could do with just getting stuck into Revis, who's in now and bowls, and Hose drives firmly back to the bowler. Good diving stop. Haynes, in fact, not Hose. and he makes a good stop. Might have expected some runs there. Revis, tall, broad-shouldered, medium pace, starts off with a sort of running on the spot, doesn't he? Sort of high kicking sort of style of runner.
Looked a bit stiff to start
high knees
when I came out the gym this morning.
And then lengthens the stride as he reaches the crease and bowls, and that's driven by Haynes. And he gets lucky really, only just over the head of Shan Masood at mid-on. He looked interested for a while, didn't quite time it, but had enough on it just to clear Masood, and once it was over his head, down to the boundary for 4. Haynes will feel a bit better. Been a slightly iffy start from him, and he's been hit on the head. He goes to 6, 24 for 2, and here comes Revis again with that high knee action at the start of his run-up. He's in, he bowls, and that's a much better shot from Haynes, in the slot and driven straight back over the bowler's head. Beautiful shot, and one bounce over the rope, straight back behind the bowler. So just as I suggested, Worcestershire wanted to relieve the pressure by capitalising on the bowling change, Jack Haynes has managed to find the boundary off successive deliveries, and it's gone up to 28 for 2, and he's the first Worcestershire batsman into double figures. Revis again, number 77 on his back. He's in, he bowls. Fuller, and Haynes drives up to mid-on. Masood makes ground from mid-on to do the fielding, and they go through for a single. 29 for 2. Haynes goes to 11, and Hose on strike. Haynes just running up to have a little chat with Hose, possibly just passing on a little bit of information about the way that Revis is delivering the ball. Hose, 9 to his name off 6 deliveries. Waits now. Revis is in, bowls, and he just pushes this out square on the offside for a single. Happy to just settle for the 1. 10 off the over so far, no need for any heroics at this point. 30 for 2, 1 ball left in the 5th. 1 ball left, and then 1 over in the power play. Revis in, bowls, good delivery. Haynes just pushes out on the offside. There's no run this time. End of the 5th over from Revis. 10 runs came from it. 30 for 2 is the score.
I think it's important that Haynes gets a good quality, high scoring innings sooner rather than later, because he had that run of poor scores where he really wasn't batting long at all. He's getting got a pair in the one game, did he?
Yeah, he did get a pair.
I spoke to him at the beginning of the season, and he had a couple of good knocks, but he said he certainly felt nervous early on when the season started. And if you have that run of scores, and even if you're going into this form of cricket, then you need something that you don't have those doubts in your mind. New over as Hose there fenced at a ball outside the off stump, and in the end it was a safe shot with third man up inside the circle, but that said, it probably went a little bit closer than he anticipated. He was stretching for it. New bowler, by the way,
Thompson,
who is Jordan Thompson, who batted well earlier on. Thompson scoring 36 from 19, but he wasn't in control of that shot. I don't think there was Adam Hose, but he's got 4, and a ball down the leg side here, signalled by Richard Illingworth as a wide. So much less disciplined the Vikings bowlers than the Worcestershire bowlers were earlier on. Just the 2 wides in the entire innings, those coming in the penultimate over. Adam Finch bowling them. But from Worcestershire point of view, the Rapids, they'll take anything that comes their way. Here Hose plays it in the air but safe, and to the boundary, straight over the bowler's head. 2 fielders were there inside at the edge of the circle, but between them, and he was in perfect control there. Didn't try and hit it too hard, just picked the spot, cleared the bowler, and he's got his second boundary of the innings. Score on to 39 for 2 in the 6th. Puts the bowler immediately under a bit of pressure, And this is in the air. He's going to be in trouble here. Fielder at the edge of the circle. No, he didn't judge it well at all. And he's got away with that. Adam Hose. It was Shan Masood out there. Didn't look comfortable. He's just rubbing his eyes here. So perhaps he got the sun in there. But he wasn't moving freely. He was going backwards. But he underclubbed that one, Hose, by some distance. Picked up 2. He's gone on to 20 from 10 deliveries, 41 for 2. Just need to be careful. They can't afford to lose another wicket here. And he'll pick up more runs here. Just flicking the ball off his toes out to deep mid-wicket. And Hose is back quickly. Bale's whipped off by Tattersall. But 2 well-judged runs by Hose. Moves on to 22, 43 for 2 in the 6th. 1 ball left in the over. Or was it 2?
2, I think.
2. You've had the wide, haven't we? We're just recovering a little bit, having been 8 for 2 in the 3rd over. And there's 4 more, cracking the ball over extra cover. There was a fielder there who shaped to go for the catch, but cleared David Malan, and the 3rd boundary in the over. That's how quickly things can change. As I say, 2 big overs in the Vikings innings, 2 overs of 21. We had about 15 off this so far. 1 ball left in the 6th over, so the end of the power play approaching. Hose 26 from 12 deliveries. Conversation between captain and bowler. Jordan Thompson on his way to complete the over here. Full pitch delivery, and probably took Hose by surprise there, because he probably could have put that one anywhere, but picked out the fielder on the leg side. End of the over, end of the power play, with the Rapids 47 for 2, with Hose on 26 and Haynes on 11.
Yes, 17 off the over. Power play 47 for 2. So Worcestershire ahead on the power play, in that Yorkshire in their power play were 44 for 2. Not much in it really. It's a fairly close run competition with regard to the power play. 2 early wickets falling in both innings, and then recovery from the 3rd wicket pair. Pleasing from my point of view, or from a Worcestershire supporter's point of view. The thing about Adam Hose is that he didn't allow that escape to bother him too much, did he?
No.
Could have gone, but decided to maintain his positive mindset and actually played a fantastic shot over extra cover later in the over. Here's Revis into bowl to Haynes. Haynes goes big on the leg side, heaves this away. Very good piece of fielding out on the leg side boundary by Jordan Thompson, running around and sprawling to his left to make a diving save for a ball that had been hit pretty hard by Haynes. Didn't gather the ball cleanly. The batsmen were able to get back for 2, but nonetheless he saved 2 runs. Good fielding, sort of thing we expect from players at this level, as we were saying earlier. 2 more to Haynes. He's on 13. Revis in from the New Road End bowls, and he drives nicely on the offside. He'll only get 1 this time. The man out on the offside boundary, Don Bess, I think, is the fielder out there, and he gathers cleanly and fires the throw back in, and they take just a single. So Haynes moves on to 14. The 50 is up for the Rapids in the 7th over. 176 the target. Revis is in again and bowls, and Hose drives straight past the bowler. Diving half stop from Masood on the edge of the circle at mid-off, but the batsman threw for 2. He just took enough pace off it to allow the fielder from mid-on to run around behind him and complete the fielding, and stop the ball from reaching the rope. So a good diving save by Masood. It was travelling. Hose moves on to 28 off 14 deliveries, and Revis is in again to Hose. Bowls, and Hose drives. He'll just get 1 this time as Visa comes off the long on boundary to do the fielding. Hose moves on to 29, 53 for 2, the Rapids. Requiring 176 to win. Earlier today, the Vikings winning the toss and choosing to bat, and recovering from 10 for 2 in the third over to make 175 for 9 in their innings. Revis is in bowls to Haynes, who clips this one nicely off his pads. He liked the look of that and then almost threw his head back in dismay as he realised it was going straight down to the fielder at long leg and they could only get a single.
He got a bit too much on it, didn't he? It was going light. He just needed to guide
Had
that
a little
at the time,
tickle, didn't he? Yeah. And he thought he had, I think. Revis, high kicking start to his run up, tall, right arm over, into Hose, gives himself room, Hose, and heaves it away on the leg side, but straight out to Jordan Thompson on the square leg boundary. They only get a single, end of the over from Revis, which means that Hose will keep the strike. He has moved on to 30, and Worcestershire taking 8 runs off that over, off 55 for 2, off 7.
Strange run up, hasn't he, Revis there, because there's no way when you're learning to bowl that someone would teach you to have a run up like that, and also it's not as if you've copied anyone, is it?
He's almost running on the spot, isn't he, when he starts?
So he's a big man but doesn't really get into a long stride.
No, but it's, well, I suppose if it works, it works. He seems to have a nice rhythm. Certainly a highly thought of young all-rounder. Came in at number 5 and struck the ball very well for his 42, didn't he?
Change of bowling. Chowan is the spinner is on, and he might pick up. No, he won't pick up a wicket first delivery. Not a convincing shot from Hose, and playing it in the air to Live at long off. Cross-spotted it, I think, in the end, and might have turned away from him. But, he's got away with it, picked up a single, brings Haynes on strike. As Haynes in the air again, and it would drop short of Live for the second time in succession. But a good fielder, Adam Live, onto it very quickly, and it restricts them to 1. So will Hose make it a hat-trick here, but this time put it straight into the hands of Live. Tall man, right-handed. No, plays it along the ground, through point. And they may think of a second, and they will get through comfortably, despite a good bit of work by Thompson at deep point.
50 partnership.
Indeed. So good recovery by these two. Hose is on 33, Haynes is on 16. Sharon bowling in his sunglasses, running directly into the sunlight as Hose plays an agricultural cut down to Thompson. Excuse me, all along the ground. We'll pick up one more. It's important they just keep that scoreboard ticking over without taking too many risks. If the bad ball's there, put it away, but don't go looking for it. 176 the target. Haynes will pick up another single here. Just beats the dive in the covers of David Malan, and Jordan Thompson completes the fielding. So 1 ball left in the 8th over. 61 for 2. Chauhan to Hose, goes back and cuts into the ground, and well stopped by Malan in the covers. Bounced up nicely for him, and again Hose might feel he missed out there, just needed to steer that a yard either side of Malan and he would have picked up a boundary, but he didn't. So at the end of the 8th over, it's 61 for 2. Hose has 34, Haynes has 17. The 2 men out. D'Oliveira for 2 in the 2nd over, and Michael Bracewell out for 3.
Yeah, not a great over from Chauhan, in that he was a bit short of a length most of the time, but he bowled to his field, didn't he? Only 6 coming from it. They scored off 5 of the deliveries, but hitting the fielder. So he took credit to him, really. Probably a little bit of turn. He bowled pretty flat, pretty quick. Little bit short of a length, but they couldn't pierce the field. Ben Mike is the new bowler at the New Road end. Right arm over the wicket, medium pace. He's in, he bowls, his first ball is short and lifted over mid-wicket for 4 by Jack Haynes. Only just cleared fielder at mid-wicket, but it did clear him, and that's all that matters. And out to the boundary. Don Best, the fielder, I think, at mid-wicket.
Yeah, it just seemed to be under-clubbing a little bit, don't they?
Yeah, not quite timing it. I think it was short, just didn't quite get onto it with absolute confidence. Mike in, bowls, gets onto that one with confidence. That's in the slot, and that's beautifully driven over extra cover by Haynes. Lovely shot. He goes to 25. Worcestershire go to 69 for 2. Acceleration coming just to the right time. I think we're talking about a pitch that possibly is just a tiny bit too paced. I might be wrong, but it'll be interesting to see what the batsmen say after the game. But as you say, they're just not quite timing, particularly the back foot shots. When the ball sort of bowled into the pitch, not quite coming on as much as they might expect. Here's Mike in again to bowl. Haynes flicks this one off his pads down to fine leg for a single. So 9 off the first 3 balls of the over. Good acceleration just at the right time, as I say, from this third wicket pair. Adam Hose now on strike, 34 off 20 for him. Always scores at a decent rate in this form of cricket.
Just push Best back onto the boundary.
Best
here.
Back on, and 4 men inside the circle on the offside, none on the leg side, as Mike is in and short, and this one's steered by Hose straight to the man behind square on the offside, who is Adam Lythe, and he doesn't get a run. So Mike needs to get his line right here, doesn't want to get driven away on the offside with all those men inside the circle, needs to bowl at the stumps really. Coming in now from the new red end, bowl short, and there again is another indication of what we were saying, as Hose is almost onto this one too quickly. Slower bouncer, to be fair, cleverly bowled, and just got a glove on it, Hose, and it lobbed out on the offside. They went through for a single, but certainly signs throughout the game that until batsmen have, there've just been 2 or 3 players who've managed to really time it well, but it's not a trustworthy surface, I wouldn't say, as Mike is in and bowls, and Haynes flicks this off his pads down to long leg again, and they go through for a single. The end of the over. 72 for 2, 11 runs came from that over, so decent over for Worcestershire. 9 overs gone, 72 for 2 is the total, and they need 176 to win, so a further 104.
A little bit surprising that you would perhaps thought the pitch might have been a belter, considering the weather we've had in the last couple of weeks.
Yeah, having said that, I think it depends on the base you're working from, doesn't it?
Yeah.
And it was incredibly wet April, wasn't it, and early part of May.
Johan starts a new over. Haynes goes back, but finds one of 2 fielders the edge of the circle, backward of the wicket on the offside, and there's no run there. But perhaps need to start accelerating a little bit. They're at nigh on 10 and over required. So don't want to fall too far behind that, but that's a nice looking shot from Haynes over wide mid off, and he certainly timed that one well, picked the spot as well, and picks up a boundary. There were 2 fielders out there, but he split those, and again didn't overhit it, just waited for the ball, lifted, drove through it.
The first one he's over pitched, isn't it, Cho? And he was a bit back of a length in his first over, fast and flat.
Comes again. Haynes though plays this in the air. Wasn't in control of that one, but it was perfectly safe with mid-on push back. So picks up a single. But that's I think probably typifies the pitch in terms of, you know, you can look like a world beater for one ball and then the next one just catches you by surprise. Now Hose on strike, goes back, and not a nice looking shot, but effective. Picks up 2 past the bowler, and fielded down on the boundary. So runs continue to be picked up. 79 for 2. We've got 2 balls left before we reach the halfway point. And at less than 100 wanted now. And there'll be a few less because Hose has picked that one up and pulled it over mid-wicket. A huge shot. It was there to be hit, and he's a big man. He's got a big stride in, and he got underneath it. There was a fielder out on the boundary who was Bess. They cleared him by a long way. And 6 more to the total. He's signalling for something here, Hose. He's moved on to 43. In fact, we've got another ball left in the over. So that's this is turning out to be a good one. Double figures in the over. And there'll be more to come, or just a single to the last delivery. He cuts down to Thompson on the cover boundary. Drinks are being called for the batters. And at the halfway mark, 176 required in total. And after that good over, there's 90 required, so 9 and over for the last 10 with the Rapids. 86 for 2 with Hose on 44. That follows the 61 he scored against Northamptonshire on Wednesday. Haynes is on 32. That's to go with the 27 he made from 17 deliveries there. And important, they should keep the heads and don't do anything silly. They should get home.
Yes, 73 for 4 Yorkshire were at the halfway point. Worcestershire 86 for 2, so comfortably ahead on the halfway comparison. But obviously anything can happen, and this partnership is crucial, I think, from Worcestershire's point of view. These two going along so nicely. Jordan Thompson has been reintroduced into the attack at the New Road end, and he starts with a wicket. There we go, and it's another one that just stopped in the pitch a little bit, you felt, and Adam Hose was into the shot, then found that the ball hadn't arrived, and he just popped a catch back to Jordan Thompson. And drinks have done for Adam Hose. Excellent innings comes to an end. 44 off just 25 balls, but he's gone, caught and bowled by Thompson, and who knows how much of a turning point that could be, as Worcestershire's progress is interrupted rudely after that partnership of 78 for the 3rd wicket.
78 in 7 overs. Good partnership, but that's sums up this pitch, doesn't it? Just took him by surprise. It was a good catch in the end by Thompson. It would have been easy as his elbows hit the ground there for that one to get away from him, but big partnership. That 78 had turned things around, but then the game can change all of a sudden. Kashif Ali, the new batter.
Kashif Ali comes out to play his part. Right-hander on strike now. Waits as Thompson is in and bowls, and he's off the mark straight away, just clipping this one up to long on. They come back for 2. Has to be quick between the wickets. Is so. Good start for him, digging out a full ball from Thompson. Good start to this second spell for Jordan Thompson. Bowled just 1 over before this, and that went for 15. 17 I should say, but picked up that important wicket of Hose. 88 for 3. He's in now to Kashif, who drives. Nice looking shot, but no run, straight to the fielder at short extra cover. So partnership of 78 for the 3rd wicket between Hose and Haynes. Responsibility now on Haynes to keep things going. He's 32 off 23. And here's Thompson moving away from us. Bowls to Kashif down the leg side. Must have flicked the pad, I think, as umpire Wharf is not indicating a wide. Yes indeed, I think it did flick the pad. Kashif will be disappointed. Any ball like that in this T20 game, you just want to get a little inside edge on a little glance down to fine leg and easy runs, but he missed out on that occasion. Here's Thompson again. medium pace, right arm over, bowls. Well, he didn't miss out on that one. That is magnificent from Kashif Ali. In the slot and in New Road. Over the stand. Thompson can't believe it. Imagine doing that of the third ball, the fourth ball that you face in a game. It's just incredible how these batsmen come in and play shots like that at the very beginning of the innings. Fantastic shot from Kashif. He goes to 8 and the total goes to 94 for 3. It's an odd pitch in that sense, isn't it? That, if it's in the slot, I suppose, if it's that full, it doesn't really matter. But we've seen batsmen throughout the game able, Thompson himself when he was batting, able to play shots like that. And yet, when the ball's held back a little bit, it's been difficult to time. Here's Thompson again to Kashif. He's in, he bowls, slower ball. Kashif waits for it nicely, steers it out on the offside. He'll only get a single, as Adam Lyth does the fielding. And that takes Kashif very quickly on to 9. He's faced just 5 deliveries. And it's 95 for 3. At the end of the 11th, umpire Wolf has miscounted, I think, or he's just checking with the scorers. I'm pretty sure it is the end of the over. He's got it sorted now. End of the over, 95 for 3. So 9 runs coming from it, and Worcestershire, well, reasonably placed, you would say, needing 176 to win. 9 overs left, and they require 9 and over.
John Thompson looks a little like Jack Brooks, and who played for Worcestershire for one game here against Leicestershire the other week. But where's his Alice band as Chauhan starts a new over. Kashif Ali turns it nicely through the vacant wide mid-on, and it will pick up 2. And it's funny watching Kashif Ali. He's in his comfortable environment batting, isn't he? And you look how quickly he runs between the wickets. He looks totally different running there to when he's fielding, and he's quite staccato when he's he never knows, I think, if the ball's going to turn away from him, a little bit nervous. But his environment is batting, and he looks totally different as he drives the next ball to into the covers where Milan fields. That's extra cover. It's on 11 from 6 deliveries, Kashif Ali. 176 the target, remember. To field change with Masood is plugging that gap at wide mid-on. It's Chauhan bowls, and he's gone here. I think the ball dropping just short. Thankfully, from Kashif's point of view, he underclubbed that. It was a strange looking paddle that played in the air to backward square leg, and it just dropped short of Revis out there. He picked up a single. Looked to all intensity he was going to perish there. Got away with it. Haynes now, he might go. And he's straight to the fielder. Out a deep mid wicket. Well, between the pair of them, they did the best to get out there, and Haynes is obliged. He's gone for 32, and now Worcestershire in a bit of trouble. Not sure what all that was about there. Again, didn't get hold of it, and picked out the fielder straight to him. And 2 new batters out there now, with Cox coming out to join Kashif Ali, and after that good partnership of 78 between Hose and Haynes, they've lost 2 in quick succession, and now 98 for 4.
Yeah, that was disappointing, wasn't it? Jack Haynes, no wonder he looked fed up, because he could have almost hit that anywhere he wanted, couldn't he? Had all the time in the world, and it was a bit like he took 2 catches himself out there, didn't he, in the Yorkshire innings off very similar shots. Dropped short by Chauhan, and just had all the time in the world to whack it almost anywhere he wanted, and just picked out Dom Bess on the deep mid-wicket boundary. Pity, because he played very, very well, but Worcestershire have lost those 2 wickets just at the wrong time. That sounds a bit obvious, but 2 players going well, partnership going well. If one of them gets out, you need the other one just to take up the mantle, and Haynes, in trying to do so, loses his wicket.
So as I say, Cox comes to the wicket, and will pick up a run. First ball, just going down on one knee and paddling it to deep backward square. So these 2 need to put something together here. The batting still to come. Pollock, Usama Mir, Adam Finch Pat Brown and Dylan Pennington. So you can feel these two need to get the bulk of the runs if the Rapids get home. They'll pick up a single here. Kashif just putting enough pace on it. And in the end it was a close run thing, running to the bowler's end for Ben Cox, but they got home. So just went to 3/4 of the way to the boundary at long on. But they got home for 2. The 100 comes up. It's 101 for 4 after 12. So 8 remaining. And the required run rate now just pushing up. It's 9.4 needed. The Duckworth Lewis score, just to give you some idea of where they should be at the moment, is 107. So they're only six behind at the moment, but this is a crucial partnership.
Well, 101 for 4 after 12, and Yorkshire were 101 for 4 after 13, having just had one of those really big overs where they got 21 off the 13th. So after 12, they were actually 88 for 4, I think, 80 for 4. If you remember, they were going through a really bad patch, so it could go either way. Have Worcestershire got anybody who can strike it like Revis did at the end of the Yorkshire innings? Revis is the man with the ball in his hand, coming now from the new red end to bowl to Cox, who pushes that one back up the pitch, and there's no run. Who's it going to be? Who's going to step up? Who's going to be the Lionheart for Worcestershire in the late part of this innings? Is it going to be Ben Cox, the wicket keeper, waiting now as Revis bowls? And again, he can't score off this one. Good delivery from Revis, just back of a length, and Cox just in behind it, pushes out on the offside. See Visa warming up again at mid-on, keeping himself loose, probably going to come in and have another little bowl. 2 overs earlier on, just 6 runs off his 2 overs. How crucial could that be? Here's Revis in, bowl short, and this one Cox looks to pull away on the onside, gets a thickish top edge, sprints back, gets back for 2. There aren't many that would have got in. He's an absolute cheater between the stumps, Cox, isn't he? Up and down, so quick. And that could play a big part in the last part of this innings as well. Good running from him. He goes to 3. 103 for 4. It's quite tense now. Pollock to come. He can score quickly. There's Revis again. He's in. Bowl short. Cox pulls. That'll be 4. Down to fine leg. Beats the fielder down there. Bottom edge, really. Not where he intended it, but he's not bothered about that at all. And that one races away down to fine leg for 4. So Cox goes to 7. Useful runs for Worcestershire. 107 for 4. 2 balls left in the 13th. Revis 24 off his 2.4 overs so far. In again to bowl to the Worcestershire keeper Cox. Cox goes for the ramp this time, misses it. An appeal by Tattersall behind the stumps, who thought he got something on it. And they're just having a little chat about it now, the 2 keepers. But umpire says, no, I didn't hear anything. It obviously wasn't down the leg side. Must have bounced over the top, really. Cox tends to favour that. Looks for the boundary behind square rather than in front. There's Revis to complete the over. He's in, he bowls, and Cox heaves this away on the leg side. Down to fine leg. Gets just a single. Keeps the strike. He goes to 8. And at the end of the over, 13 gone. Worcestershire are 108 for 4, needing another 68 to win at 9.7.
Yeah, just nudging up, isn't it? But with Visa to come back into the attack, as he kept things very tight at the start. So look, 1 for 6 from his 2 overs, so he's going to be
need a big over there.
Yeah, it's going to be difficult to get away. Matthew Fisher coming back on at the Diglis end. Fisher 2 overs, 1 for 13. He opened up. They can't afford to let that run rate, you would feel, push up much more than this, with Visa having 2 overs up his sleeve Temperature's just dropped a little bit in the last 20 minutes or so. Still a lovely evening though here at New Road as Fisher starts a new over. Cox uses his feet and flicks the ball down to fine leg for a single. That's the area he's looking to at the moment. Ben Cox just looking to pick up the odd run down there, but they do need at least one boundary and over. It's Kashif on strike, 2 right-handers here. 9 balls faced so far. Kashif Ali is on 14. One of 2 sixes in the innings so far. The other being Adam Hose. A lovely 6 from Kashif earlier. I think the third ball he faced.
Great shot.
He's facing up here to Matthew Fisher. Sun shining in his face as he bowls, and Kashif turns it onto the leg side. Only for a single though. Down to halfway to the boundary, where it's fielded by Dom Bess, deep mid wicket. You feel one of these two has got to look for the boundaries. Without those, they're going to fall short. At least one and over to set up the last 5. Fisher into Cox. And well, I can't describe that shot, but it's gone for 6 over the wicket-keeper's head. He was looking to pull it away, and he got a thick edge, and the ball just skied and flew.
That skid, that's come on quickly off the pitch, isn't it? It's so difficult to sort of categorise this pitch, really. See, the odd one seemed to stop in it. That one seemed to really fizz on, didn't it?
Came onto him quickly and just got a
trying to play it behind square. He's got it over the keeper's head.
But they all count, and there'll be another run here, turning it backward as square on the leg side. They'll think of 2, and they will get there. Good bit of fielding out on the boundary. 2 fielders converge. One of them was Revis.
Visa, the other one.
Visa down there. He's been around the block.
Oh, it's Ben Mike, is it? I'm not sure. Ben
yeah,
Mike,
it is. Yeah. But 2 more to the total, 118 for 4. They've just brought the required rate down to 9.2, so it's dropped by 0.5 in the over so far. Another run here. So they'll only get the 1 on this occasion though, down to deep square leg. 1 ball left in the over. It's been a good one so far, profitable one for the Rapids' point of view, 119 for 4. Cox has moved on to 18 very quickly from 11 balls. That's 6 has given his innings some impetus. Kashif's on 15 from 10, but they needed to build this partnership, set it up for perhaps Pollock from the last 5. Another run here. Kashif just played the ball on its merits, punched it through the covers, and he will keep the strike for the start of the 15th over. 6 overs remaining, 57 required at 9.3. They're 120 for 4 with Kashif on 16, Cox on 18, the men out. D'Oliveira for 2, Bracewell for 3. Very good 44 from Hose, and Haynes 32.
Yeah, they need 9s, and they got 9, didn't they? They got 12 in that over. That's good going, and it keeps them just up with the rate. But I don't know, what do you call it? The elephant in the room, I suppose, is Visa, isn't it? He's got to come in, hasn't he, at some stage, and he is not, I would think, going to get taken for double figures. Here's Revis to continue from the New Road end. Kashif turns him on the leg side, looks for 1. Will he come back for 2? He won't. Oh, he could have done. He does now. And then he says, no, it's too late now. Ben Cox says, we could have done. There was a misfield. You'd normally run that first one hard, turn, look, and if you see the misfield, you go. But the misfield was almost delayed, and Cox had given it up. So they only got 1 anyway. 121 for 4. And here's Revis again. He's in, he bowls, and Kashif swings at this, and he gets a bottom edge down to fine leg. Sorry, Cox. Bottom edge, and unlucky not to get 4. Good bit of fielding down there. Sprawling to his right.
Nearly all of Cox's runs have gone backwards on the wicket.
Revis down there. No, Revis bowling, can't be him. Fisher down there, good diving stop. Good work. 123 for 4. Cox 20 off just 12 deliveries. Revis in, bowl, short. Nicely bowled. Oh, wide given. Cox gave up on the shot. I said nicely bowled. He banged it into the pitch and it died on Cox, but it died away down the leg side. And umpire Alex Wolf says the slow bouncer, it was a good bouncer, but it was ill-directed. So it was a clever change of pace is what I mean, but the line let him down. 124 for 4. Revis. High kicking. Again, he's in. He bowls short. Cox down the pitch. Slams that for 6. Flat batted, cross batted, pull shot over mid-on. Ben Cox got the bit between his teeth here. Got the tiger in his tank. He's after it. Not been playing in the red ball game, playing in the white ball game. Enjoying himself. 26 off 13. 130 for 4. Big over this. They need to score runs before Visa comes back. Revis again, he's in, he bowls. Cox goes big again. Top edge, going to be caught at square leg. He is caught. Big wicket. Revis gets his man. Useful from Cox, but one too many attempts at the big shot. Got a top edge, skied it to backward square leg, and he has gone for 26 off just 13 balls. And Worcestershire, as Yorkshire, losing wickets at key moments. Cox caught Thompson, bowled Revis 26, 130 for 5, 2 balls left in the 15th.
Yeah, the story of the innings really, isn't it? They just get on top and then lose those, well, the last 3 wickets have all been a case of just getting on top and then getting out at the wrong time. It brings Pollock to the wicket, and well, it needs one of these special Pollock innings, although they had pulled the required rate before that ball down to less than 8.5.
Yeah.
So they pulled it back by a run and over, but it can all turn so quickly.
Well, we know that Pollock can do it, but there's a difference between knowing he can do it and actually seeing him do it. Is Revis round the wicket to the left-handed Pollock. Slower ball, nicely bowled. Clever bit of bowling from Revis. Pollock pushes out on the offside. Thompson comes in. Lythe comes in and shies at the stumps at the non-striker's end. Batsman interested in an overthrow, but Visa backing up. So great response from Revis, having been hit for that 6 by Cox. 1 ball left in the over. He's in to Pollock. Short. Pollock chips it away on the onside. Horribly cramped. Looking to pull it. Didn't get his arms away and just lobs it out on the onside. But there's no fielder there. They get a single. He keeps the strike. He's off the mark. And at the end of an eventful over, which saw 11 runs scored, Worcestershire off 15 overs are 131 for 5. Yorkshire off 15 overs were 117 for 4. So Worcestershire ahead on runs, but crucially 1 more wicket down. And crucially, we are now going to see David Visa come into the attack. 2 overs, no maidens, 1 for 6 his figures so far. I think this could be crucial. This could be the bowling change which decides things one way or another.
Well, they need 45, and you would feel these two have got to get the vast majority, because the batting to come is Usama Mir, Adam Finch, Pat Brown, Dylan Pennington, probably not in that order, but they're going to be put in a difficult situation. Pollock, though, they're going to be in that situation now, because Pollock has been bowled middle stump. He's gone for just a single, and now you would feel it's very much advantage Vikings. Has a horrible looking shot. He didn't even have a look at it, Pollock. He bowled 2 overs for 6 and taken a wicket, Visa, and you'd think perhaps Pollock might have had a look at 1 or 2 deliveries. Played a horrible hoik across the line and saw his stumps knocked back, and that brings the very keen Usama Mir out, because he's virtually in the middle by the time Pollock's got halfway off.
Yeah, well, difficult for Pollock. He's not been in any kind of form, and even though he had a little cameo the other night, he's not been spending time in the middle, and Visa on the money straight away, bullet straight with that one. And poor old Ed Pollock, knowing they needed to score at 9 and over, I think they just get 5 off Visa's overs and target the bowlers at the other end, surely.
So the right-handed Salman Mir thinks for single, first delivery, just running it down to backward point, but there's no run, fielded by Don Bess.
Good time to bowl a wicket maiden.
Yeah. Tall man, right-handed, Salman Mir. But, decent knock the other night, 20 from 7 deliveries with 1, 4, 2 sixes. Well, it needs something like that now, you'd feel, to just put the pressure back on the visitors. Well, that might be one of them, but he also might perish. He's gone out to... he's dropped at deep mid-wicket. Now, might that turn things around? There was Matthew Revis out there. Everything that's gone out that way tonight has been taken. Actually, having said that, Haynes put down a very difficult one, but that wasn't difficult. But you can see how the sun's shining, and he would have had the sun in his eyes. And some quite rowdy people behind him with some beer goggles on, which probably gave him a bit of stick as well. And there's next delivery. Oh, I thought might be a run out there, but Kashif in the end standing his ground, just running the ball down to short third man.
Well, Matthew Revis getting a bit of stick out there from those guys, but he'll have played at Headingley a few times, and any visitor who's played in front of the Western Terrace at Headingley can tell you all about stick from the crowd at a cricket match, and it's a lot worse than you get here at Worcester.
Well, the required rate is above 10 now as Kashif picks up a single to Revis, as you can probably hear in the background. Gets the jeers from the beer boys over the far side of the ground, in direct line with the cathedral as we look at it. I think sort of light-hearted stuff, clapping him as he makes his way back, and he may well have the last laugh here with 10.3 required. It's Visa's last ball of the over. He's picked off for a single by Salman Mir, who's had a life. Can he make it count? Because there's just 4 overs left, 42 required. So a big ask for the late order batters for the Rapids. They're 134 for 6, with Kashif Ali on 18 and Usama Mir on 2.
Yeah, Revis getting a bit of stick from the crowd out there when he came into field. That one jeering him as he came, but well, it's nothing, is it? It's light-hearted compared to the sort of stuff that you get from the Western Terrace at Headingley or the Hollies at Edgbaston. I mean, you need a skin like a rhino if you're fielding in front of them, don't you? And it won't bother him. All quite light-hearted stuff. Well bowled, David Visa. That's what they pay the big bucks for, these counties, for their overseas players. Visa might just, with that one delivery, have turned this game on its head. Jordan Thompson is in now to bowl, and Salman Mir is smearing this one away on the leg side for a single. Out to deep backward square. 135 for 6. Mir goes to 3. Kashif has 18. You'd say any hopes that Worcestershire have depend on Kashif now, wouldn't you? And probably not fair for a player of his inexperience to have that responsibility. Thompson in, bowls to him, wide. Nicely bowled, actually. I say wide, full and wide, deliberately wide, but inside the blue tram lines. Clever, the full wide Yorker, so skillfully bowled, and he took the pace off it.
Just went too early, didn't he?
Yeah.
The
cat and mouse, and the cat one, shall we say. 135 for 6. Jordan Thompson in again, bowls, and this one is driven down the ground by Kashif, dead straight down the ground, but Masood runs across from mid-off to stop it just inside the rope, and they go through for 2. So Kashif goes on to 20, 137 for 6. The men out for Worcestershire: D'Oliveira 2, Bracewell 3, Hose 44, Haynes 32, Cox 26 and Pollock 1. Thompson in, bowls, Kashif full toss drives, doesn't time it, just up to long on. Visa the fielder, just a single. 21 to Kashif, 138 for 6. Worcestershire now requiring 11 and a half and over. It's creeping up towards 12. If you can get it to 12, maybe with 2 overs to go, and you've still got 3 wickets in hand, anything could happen. But possibly just falling a little bit behind what's required here, as Thompson bowls another really cleverly bowled slower ball, and Osama Mir goes for a big hit on the leg side and basically just deceived by lack of pace, cleverly bowled by Jordan Thompson. And if anything, for me, as much as we could say neither side, nobody's got a 50, but if anything, it's been the bowling that's been just that bit better from Yorkshire so far, just a little bit cleverer. Thompson in, bowl, same again. Osama Mir's big swing is beaten. Really good over from Jordan Thompson. Outstanding at this stage. 138 for 6 at the end of it, just 4 runs, so 3 off the 16th and 4 off the 17th. And that has made a massive difference, and yet Worcestershire still 1 run ahead on the comparison.
Yeah, that 21 from the 19th over, wasn't it? It was the crucial over. But they just left this lower order too much to do. Got out at the wrong time. They got that required rate down to 8.3 and continued to just go after it instead of just looking for the boundaries as they came. Visa to bowl his final over. He's been the key man. To Kashif, drives him down to long on, but only get a single there. It's the boundaries they need. They need to start clearing the ropes now. A big over is needed. You really can't see that coming from Visa, but perhaps if they can nudge 8 or 9 off this over and then really have a go at the last 2. But he's bowled well, but this one's in the air. It's shielding his eyes from the sun as the further out on the boundary, and it's cleared him. That's a great shot from Osama Mir. It just kept going and going and going. There was Ben Mike out on the boundary, the Diglis end. He was looking right into the sun, so he was going to be under pressure from that, but in the end the ball just went over his head and a few rows back. So that's one of the boundaries required. That takes the required runs down to 31 required.
Doesn't have to be this over.
Well, he could perish here. It's gone out. He's underclubbed it again. There's a fielder out there and takes the catch. Thompson just in front of the scoreboard. So not for the first time. A 6 has been followed by a wicket, and well, you would feel that the Vikings have probably claimed victory with that wicket of Osama Mir. He's gone for 9, and the Rapids are now 145 for 7 with 31 required at 12 and a half and over.
Yeah, I was just saying it doesn't have to be this over, and what I meant was, you know, if you just got another 5 off this over, get to 150, and you need 20 odd off 2, but Visa's finished, you've got a better chance. But now I think we're into the tail. Finch is in there. He's been batting reasonably well recently, but even so, it's a tall order. A lot of pressure on Kashif. I would have just pushed it around for the rest of this over.
3 wickets now for Visa as Finch picks up 1, turning it on the leg side, and that's all they will get. So it takes the required runs to win down to 30 with 14 balls left. But Kashif Ali on strike, goes for the paddle here, and it's a great stop at the edge of the circle. That looked as though it was going down to the boundary, which would be just what they needed at the moment, but it was a diving stop by Fisher there, and in the end they just picked up a single, but saved 3 runs there. 29 required, 1 ball left in Visa's spell, and they just pick up a run. Well, no, they can't. It's an appeal for LBW, but only from Visa, and that was probably to keep Finch back in his crease. So excellent spell from Visa. He's finished for the evening. Rapids, well, they may be finished for the evening. They need 29 from the last 2 overs, and they've only got 3 wickets in hand. They're 147 for 7, with Kashif on 23 and Adam Finch on 1.
4 overs, no maidens, 3 for 18 for Vita. Absolutely the pick of the bowlers that we've seen tonight, and it's those sort of figures that turn games like this, and as I say, that's what he's paid for, and brilliant from him. And Thompson's been pretty good too, and it's he who comes in now to bowl the first ball of the 19th over to Kashif Ali, who drives down the ground but only gets a single, and that isn't going to be enough. And Adam Finch on strike. This is what I mean now. If Worcestershire were in this situation now, and you know, what do they need? They need 30 to win, 20 odd, 28 to win. Okay, there's only 2 overs left, but if they were in this position now, Mir was still in, Vise was finished, who knows? A big over, 16, something like that, you got a chance. But losing that wicket was so crucial. There's Thompson, bowled really well, in enjoying it, you can tell as he runs in and bowls, and Finch heaves this away on the onside and he gets a boundary. Good shot from Adam Finch, slightly across the line, but he kept it down, hit it firmly. 2 fielders, Bess at mid-wicket, Visa at long on, running around, and it bisected the 2 perfectly, and over the ropes it goes. The crowd cheer with a little bit of renewed hope. Worcestershire need 24 off 10 deliveries. Jordan Thompson to bowl to Finch, who waits, bat raised in the shadows now, bowls, Finch heaves away, 4 more, down the leg side, big thick bottom edge, fine leg is up, down to the rope at the Diglis end. Successive boundaries for Adam Finch. Masood comes in from long on to have a word with his bowler. Visa comes in from long off to have a word with the bowler, give him a little bit of advice. What's he saying? Get one in the block hole. Get full. You've got long off and long on back. Don't be short. Be full. 156 for 7. 20 needed. 9 deliveries. Thompson in. Bowls. Finch heaves. On the legs, on the offside, I beg your pardon. And he gets a single off a leading edge over the bowler's head. Masood comes in to do the fielding. 157 for 7. 19 needed. Off 8 balls. This is what I mean. Yeah. This is what I mean. If they still had Mir in, didn't need to do that.
3rd man fine leg up here.
Yep, as well they have been. That's why he's got to go full. Can't get a bottom edge on it. Goes slightly slower. Well bowled. This is what he did in the last over. Just changes the pace. Nicely bowled. And Kashif, for the 3rd time in fairly quick succession, is looking for the big hit, and defeated by the change of pace. Good bowling from Thompson. 7 balls left, 19 needed. It's going to be tight. In he comes. Last ball of the over. He bowls. Kashif drives out on the offside. Skied. Is he going to be out? He is out. He is caught at extra cover. Running back. Well bowled, Jordan Thompson. Kashif perishes going for the big shot, as he had to do, and Worcestershire, with Milan taking the catch, almost out of it now. 157 for 8.
Yep. Although it was almost a free hit in terms of they had to go for it, and the last ball of the over, but he just in the end, after starting brightly, started trying to hit the ball too hard, didn't he? Instead of playing the ball on its merits. Just I think the situation got to him a little bit too much there. But 24 he made. But Thompson has come back well. He's had a good game actually, Thompson.
Yeah, very good.
So
very good cricketer.
1 over left, and they need 19. Pennington has come out to join Finch. Finch will be on strike. And first delivery, he's hit straight back over the bowler, and it's gone for 6. Well, he got underneath that one, and that was a superb shot off Fisher, and suddenly they're down to 13 off 5. And Finch on to 16. He hit that as clean as you like. That was like a top order batter, and that will put a bit of pressure on Matthew Fisher now. They looked home and dry. Now if he can follow it up with a boundary, 2 wickets in hand. Brown is the last man if required. But Finch 16 from 6. Lovely clean hit. What can he do here? Have they got the ball back yet? No, they haven't. Still looking for it. So the pressure will build on Matthew Fisher, but he's an experienced campaigner. Finch just prowling around, but still can't find the ball. Alex Wharf, the umpire, has come to get another one from the box.
How can they not find it? I don't understand that.
Well,
oh, they've got it.
Yeah.
They've got it. Somebody just found it in their pocket.
Yeah. But it's set up these last 5 deliveries. It's going to be a tricky ask on this pitch. 176, 163 for 8. 5 balls left, 13 to win. Fisher, good ball outside the off stump, and forgot to look at that one, did Adam Finch. He was looking to pull it. There's a big gap on the leg side between deep square leg, deep mid wicket, and that's what he was looking for, just looking to pull it between the two. There's a gap there of what, 70 yards? It's big enough though, I wouldn't want to sprint it. But 4 balls left, 13 required. Fisher, 6 from the over in 2 balls. And this one is in the air but safe. They'll have to think about coming back for a second, and they will get it, because there was a stumble in the field by Dom Bess. So 11 required from 3. If he could clear the boundary here, he's on to 18 from 8. Adam Finch. Of course, it was he that went for 21 from the penultimate over. At the moment, that is the big over that's made the difference. 3 balls left, 11 required. This is in the air, and it could go all the way as a fielder trying to get underneath it. It got 1 bounce for 4. No 6. He got a thick outside edge. He didn't hit it as he wanted to, but he got enough of it. The fielder at long on was getting across to long off. Couldn't get there. The ball just dropped over the boundary. So 5 to win from 2 deliveries. Finch onto 24 from 9. Now big pressure for Fisher. That's woken the crowd up. Right behind their team now. Long off has gone back. 3rd man has come up. This is where you want the thick outside edge. 2 balls left. Field well spread. 5 required. In the air. It's gone all the way. He's done it. Finch has done it for 3 sixes in the last over. He's finished 30 not out. Punches the air. The crowd on their feet at the forward, all around the ground. Nobody saw that one coming. And 3 sixes in the final over. Worcestershire Rapids have won it with 1 ball to go. An amazing victory. Adam Finch went for 21 of the penultimate over. Looked as though that was going to be victory for the Yorkshire Vikings. But he's recovered and he's seen Worcestershire home.
Unbelievable. He has never played an innings like that in his life, I don't think. 30 not out. Absolutely unbelievable. Worcestershire were dead and buried, and they won by 2 wickets. Brilliant performance from Adam Finch. Absolutely sensational. Disappointing for the Vikings in terms of the bowling of Fisher at the end. 3.5 overs, no maidens, 1 for 45 he finishes with. You mentioned the extras, Chris, 6 extras in one innings and only 2 in the other. In tight games like this, fine margins, amazing performance from Adam Finch. The crowd have loved it. From misery to triumph in the space of just a couple of minutes. Fantastic performance. Great game of T20 cricket. Doesn't have to be a road, does it, with sixes flying left, right and centre for it to be a good competitive game of cricket. Brilliant night here at Worcester. Worcestershire have won the most unlikely of games by 2 wickets, and a fantastic end to a really enjoyable game of cricket.
Well, that's how quickly things can turn around in this form of cricket, and Adam Finch, I don't think he's ever played in innings like that before, and great mental courage he showed in that final over. And well, he suffered a little bit with the ball. Just looking at his figures now, 4 overs for 45, but he finished 30 not out from just 10 deliveries to see Worcestershire home. We'll be back with you from New Road on Monday when the Rapids take on the Leicestershire Foxes. But a great evening if you're a Worcestershire supporter. A great game of cricket here at New Road tonight. It's finished with a victory with 1 ball to spare and 2 wickets in hand for the Rapids. We'll be back with you on Sunday, as I say, a 2:30 start here at New Road. But from Frank Watson and myself, Chris Williams, I wish you a very good evening.